Hi, I'm back for part 2 of Let's Make and Take online. The card we're making today includes some dies, but no stamping. We're going to glitter it up a little bit with some glitter ribbon. So we're going to start by cutting our dies, and I do this all the time. If I have something that's going to be a layer and is going to be mostly covered up, I try to extend the use of my paper by placing the die, any extraneous dies like word dies, in the center. Nobody's ever going to see that paper because it's going to be the bottom layer. So that's what I'm doing here. The thanks is being cut out of the bottom layer, the oval. And I'm just going to go through a second time to make sure that I got it cut just right. I'm using a chrome plate, so normally that's going to take care of any not so great cuts, but better safe than sorry. And the dies I'm using are both Sizzix. This one is the thanks, just the little part, not the shadow. And I'm also offering, if you want to do this make and take and want to pick up a kit, you can either get hello or thanks. I'll have them both cut out. And then the flower is a negative cut, and it's from this Sizzix grouping called Cutout Blossoms. And you get 3 of them, but we're just using this one today. The ribbon is something I have in stock. I imagine you can find it most places. It's satin-backed glitter ribbon, and I love the color. So let me pull this out of the way and take my dies out. And this is that die that we put the foam in on the last demo. And I'm going to show you how easy that comes out. It's a stinker if you don't have that foam in there. It's really hard to get out. And I always end up tearing it. But with the foam in there, it just slides right out. And there it is. So there's our thanks. And that's what we're going to use in the demo. So there's the thanks. Nothing left in the die except for the little place where the tape held it in. It makes things go a lot faster. This is going to be used, and it doesn't matter that the tape's on there because we're going to be laying this piece on top of there. And we cut this out of the center of this piece because it's a negative die, and you need to have the part that the die is cut out of. So, and I do this. This is my preferred way of getting things out. When you use the chrome plate, they really come out pretty easy. Very rarely do you get anything that won't come out, just because it's such a hard surface to cut against. Looks like I've got one right there that's there. Okay, so they're all out. And we're going to cut ourselves a little piece of ribbon to go show through the openings of this die. So all we need to do, and you'll notice if I just lay this down straight, it's got spots where it's not covered. So I just take it and finesse it a little bit, and it covers everything. So if you get one of the kits and you think it's not covering, just turn it a little bit until all the edges are covered. And you'll get enough to do that. I'm just going to snip this off. And what we'll do is trim the ribbon. And it doesn't matter how neatly you trim it, just as long as it's not showing underneath. trim it up here too. And then we're going to glue it or tape it down. You can do whichever you prefer. I will probably tape it down. I haven't thought about that. I guess I'll be taping. So I'll just take it like that, cover up all the little openings that are on the other side. Let me grab the tape. Just to make sure that it doesn't move around once you've got it down. And this is double-sided, so it's going to stick to my layer. You can see it's covered pretty nicely. And we're just going to lay it right down on the oval. And it, of course, covers up the word thanks that we've cut out of it. And I've got a little bit of tape hanging out the edge here, so I'm going to just fold that over. There we go. Oops, now it's hanging out that edge. We'll trim that off. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so now we have our layer ready. It's not on there real straight though, is it? I always use the 3M double-sided tape because it doesn't stick so tightly the first time down, not till you rub it pretty well. So we'll move this over a little bit. That looks better. And if you've seen my cards before, you know I never get anything quite straight. Okay, so that's the dies. We're all ready to put this on our card. Now our card is going to be an easel card. And all that is a card that's folded at the top instead of on the side. And then it's scored at 5.5 and then again at 2 3/4 from the side. Okay, I've already put my layer on, which is just a 4 by 5 1/4. And if you get the kit, it's already cut for you. We're going to put our thanks across the bottom. And we're just going to put a little bit of glue on that to help it lay down, or stay down, I should say. Normally I lay this on a piece of wax paper, but I don't have that out now. I love the Nouveau glue because you can do these real thin words and not slop all over the sides. Almost done. Okay, I think I've got it good enough. It doesn't have to hold a battleship, it just has to hold a little paper on there. Oops, got some little strings. Okay, so down it goes. And these days, since we're all thanking the medical workers and the grocery workers and everybody, I thought a thanks would be a nice card. The policemen and the firemen, everybody like that. And then we're going to put this down, and I'm going to do this with tape also, because I think it holds it a little bit better, and it's going to get some wear and tear because it's going to be lifted and pushed and pulled and pretty handled. And what we're going to do is we're going to line it up so that the tape is only on this part. Don't put any tape up at the top. And it's still not straight, is it? We're going to put it up at the top so that our card, when it's opened, looks like this, and it stays that way. Well, how does it stay that way? Well, we're going to put a little button, and I have some of these, what are they called? Queen and Company makes these little cloth covered buttons. These happen to have little purple with little white polka dots on them, and they're self-adhesive, and you'll receive this in your kit. And I just pulled the adhesive off that, so that's interesting. I'm just going to put that about right there, and I'll put the adhesive on off of here since it pulled off the button already. I think that's about centered. That acrylic really wants to hold on to that adhesive. Nope, doesn't want to come off. That is really stuck on there. Here, we'll try a different one. Okay. So we want that about right there. Press it down. That'll keep this from sliding back closed. When you mail it, you'll mail it like that, but when they get it, they put it up like that. And so that makes a cute little thank you card. There's room up here to write a note if you want to, that you don't want to share with everybody. And then when it's out on display, your note is hidden. So that's Make and Take number 1 for this week. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for bearing with me. See you next time.